This is my 1972 Camaro Z28, and I just want to tell you a little bit about the engine before I take it for a drive. It's a 383 stroker. It's got about a $8,000 engine build in it. It's got a 850 CFM mechanical secondaries Holley 4150 carb. It's got a port matched Victor Jr. intake manifold with World product heads. It's got a full roller valve train. It's a 640 lift, Fuller rockers, MSD ignition. It's a 1101 or higher compression. It's matched to a Godly transmission, built 350, about a 2800 stall. This is, we'll say, barely street legal car. I haven't put it on the dyno, but the computer diagnostic dyno, the one where you build the engine on the computer and it tells you approximate horsepower, is around 600. This thing's pretty freaking fast, and that's pretty BA. So it's a blast to drive. The vacuum's a little bit low because it's got such a large cam, so it's pulling a little bit from the brake booster. I would probably add an electric vacuum to it just for the brake booster alone. It doesn't have power steering. It does have the power disc brakes in the front. This is a super sharp car. This is a really, really nice driver. I mean, it's a really pretty driver. When you walk up on this thing, it looks sharp. I've got brand new American racing wheels, 17s in the front. I mean, yeah, 17s front and back, 8s in the front, 9s in the back. The paint is super shiny. A couple of tiny itsy bitsy spots. Part of the reason I want to do this, normally I drive my vehicle and then I stop and look at it, but I'm doing this right now because the pollen season is so bad. I don't know if you can see in the video all this right here. It's pollen season starting today, and I washed this car and literally 10 minutes later it was covered in pollen. So I just took it for a quick drive and kind of let the wind blow it off. Brand spanking new tires. Of course, like I already told you, the description on the engine. Transmission, 12 volt posi traction rear end with a sway bar, factory sway bar. It's got long tube headers, Flowmaster exhaust. It sounds nasty. It hits a wicked lick, and the windows have the typical, these are the original windows. They have the typical F-body scratches on the windows from where it's been rolled up and down. They're not super bad, but they're not brand new. And the windshield does have one small rock chip that's on the lower driver's side. It's not in view. We'll show it real quick. It's not in view, so when you're sitting inside it, it's not obstructing the view. It's got a new interior. Mostly the whole interior is new, I say, except for the dashboard. The carpet kit's a little bit older in it, but the door panels are brand new. We just put them in. The seat covers were just redone by Bannister's Upholstery in East Point, Atlanta. Brand new seat covers. This one hasn't even been sat on. Rear, same thing. Brand new rear seat covers. Brand new rear tray. And I bought the perforated tray with the speakers underneath it, so we could hide those. Speakers are in the back. It's got a new headliner. Like I said, the only thing that's not new is the dash cover, which they have a tendency to kind of peel up just a hair. It's sitting up just a hair, and maybe you could try and pull it down if you wanted to, or put a new one on it. It's an original AC car. Obviously, this car was built to be a street strip car. You could drive it around and have fun with it, but it's meant to be driven to the drag strip, so it doesn't have air conditioning in it. This is a car that, you know, you drive to the drag strip, you race, and you can drive home. It's just really fun to have something like that. Plus, you can just super haul ass around town. So, brand new door inserts, door panels in great shape, center console shifter. It's got the wood grain dash. Like I said, it's an original AC car. It's got a newer stereo in it, and I actually hid these temp gauge and the oil pressure gauge down there because I really wanted to maintain the original look of the vehicle. I don't like highly modified interior looks on cars. I'm really sorry about this pollen. If you can see that, that's how bad it is. Watch. That's pollen. The car is super shiny. Let me pop that head real quick, or pop that trunk. Rust-free car. I haven't found any rust on it at all. Trunk pan in excellent shape. Trunk holds itself up, which is nice. A lot of times you open them and they fall right back down. I'll show you the underneath of the car real quick and then we'll take it for a drive to end the video. It's got a really cool, look with the front spoiler. I don't know for sure that this is a true Z28. I'm not going to say that it is or it isn't. It's extremely hard to tell. They don't have the original body tag. A lot of times they get lost when the vehicle's been painted. In fact, I've got a couple of body tags in my shop. It's like the vehicle got lost. I've got the body tag, but I don't put those on any vehicles. They're just hanging on the wall. Perfect floor pans. These are the original floor pans. This is a original low miles car, by the way. It's got about 70,000 miles on the body. Undercarriage in excellent shape. Excellent. Floor pans, excellent. Rockers, excellent. No bubbling under the doors. No bubbling at the bottoms of the doors. No rust bubbles anywhere. No little bubbling, nothing like that. Like I said, 12-bolt rear end, rust-free. Original. That's the original trunk pan. That is not a replacement trunk pan. This is all original metal in the car. Now, if this is exactly the car you're looking for, but you're saying to yourself, that is way too much engine for me, way too much power for me, I kid you not, pull the prices on all the details of this engine that I'm telling you about, because it would cost you about $8,000 to build the engine alone. So you could pull the engine and sell it and buy yourself a nice little crate motor, 350, or if you want a little smaller stroker, 355 instead of a 383. Pop it in here, put you some power steering on it, and have a great car. So the paint is awesome. It's an excellent. It's not even a 10-footer. I mean, if you get right up on it and it's shiny, it's got a new interior, new wheels, tires. It's got a new engine. The engine's probably got about 1,000 miles on it. Transmission shifts out perfect. So let's take it for a spin. It is a high compression race car engine. You got to hold the pedal down to get her started. It's got a high flow. It's got a high flow carburetor on it. It's dumping a lot of gas into the engine. I'll do my best to try and shift through the gears and hold the camera. I'm not going to drive it as fast as it'll go because it's just too fast for being in a area like this. And I've got to hold the camera, which doesn't make me the most controlled driver. That's about all I'm going to do. It's enough. I don't want the cops being called on me. This thing's sick. Woo! It's very fast. If you're looking for a super fast hot rod, you want to have one of the fastest cars in the neighborhood, you want to buy this car. If you don't buy this one, buy one like it, because this thing is badass. I mean, the engine first, like a kid when you're cruising. It's a high RPMs engine. Obviously, the transmissions in the rear end is geared to haul ass. If you want something to cruise longer distance, you might put a 700 R4 in it. If it was mine and I was going to keep it, I'd put a 4-speed in it. Muncie 4-speed. And I put some lower gears in it in the back. It's got plenty of torque. Push the tires, but that way it's not going to wind out in 4th gear. The car drives great. I mean, it drives great. Lights work. Windshield wipers work. Turn signals work. Stereo works. the thermostat in it to a little higher. It's not even running a thermostat right now, and it won't heat up. I mean, right now it's sitting at like 140. Driving it, I mean, it'll heat up. It's a cool day in Georgia too, but it's not overheating. You know, it's running high, you know, 180 degrees. If you're gonna race it, you're gonna want to get it up a little hotter, probably 190, 200. But driving this car around town right now, you're never gonna get over 175, 180. This car is just so much fun to drive. It'll put you back in the seat. Nice thing is, even with the window down and cruising, you can hear how aggressive the exhaust is, and yet cruising in here, cruising around town, it's not loud, like it's deafening. The exhaust is going out the back of the car. It's not underneath. It's not cutoffs, you know, or turn downs. So that's what, if you did turn downs on this car, you know, it'd just be deafening in here. But being all the way out the back, it sounds really good, and you can still hear your music and cruise around in it. So I'm driving this car around right now. We've got it all dialed in and everything, and it's just so much fun. I mean, everybody likes it. Everybody wants, you know, you want to be seen in a car like this. I'm leaving it auto, not shifted manually. You can hear the transmission shifts out perfect. I mean, the drivetrain on this car probably has about 1,000 miles on it. The engine and transmission were just built and installed. It's been being cruised around town in. It's a great driver. It's not a show car. It's got its imperfections. You know, little tiny, you know, little paint chip, or like I said, there's your little chip in the windshield right there. Just little stuff, you know, little rinky-dink stuff. But here's the thing: when these cars are perfect, I mean, you're shopping right now. You're watching this video because you're shopping for a Camaro. You know what a perfect one costs. You know, 35, 45 grand. So in the low 20s, this thing's a steal. I mean, half this car is drivetrain. I mean, by the time you build an engine like this, put this kind of transmission, rear end, you're looking at 10 grand easy just in drivetrain. Another $2,000 in wheels and tires, you're at 12 grand. All we're talking about right now is engine, transmission, rear end, and tires, wheels. And we're at 12 grand. So I mean, this thing's sick. The guys tease me around the shop because I always say, you know, oh man, this is the one I want to keep. You know, I get ragged on at the shop. But I'm like, man, this is the one I want to keep. This thing's bad to the bone. It's just wicked fast. It's so much fun. It's an iconic, stereotypical hot rod on steroids. And somebody's just gonna have a freaking blast with this thing. Can't go wrong. It's so much fun to drive, and just gonna have so much fun with it.